Hey mates, good afternoon. Here's my third and last video log that I wanted to make for today. So we're actually walking along the Peckuwe village battle site, which now translates to Piqua. And that's actually where I was just a little bit ago. That is the Kiefer mansion. That was a well-known family that settled in this area as it was approaching the 1820s. But historically, where I am at, this is a very important site. This is where a battle took place back in August of 1780. So you may be wondering, okay, what's the importance of this battle site? Well, a well-known colonel during the time by the name of George Rogers Clark, he had a militia that came from the state of Kentucky. And unfortunately, where they came from, which was somewhere in Kentucky, they were kind of driven out by some of the Indian tribes in that area. So they decided to march all the way from the Ohio River, source to south, and it took them about a week to get to this area. And the Mad River isn't too far from here either. So in this area used to be a settlement called Piqua, and that's what Peckuwe is. That's what it translates to. And the funny thing is, we now actually have a town called Piqua. But going back to what I was mentioning, so in this area there was a settlement, and eventually a battle took place between George Rogers Clark's militia and 4 different Indian tribes, which included the Shawnee, Delaware, Mingo, and the Wyandot tribes. They were united at the time. And they were also, those tribes were partnered up with British soldiers too. So the battle took place, and the Indian tribes were trying to escape, going towards the east. However, they weren't able to because of some of the sheer rock cliffs, which, for instance, you can actually see at Mad River Gorge. So due to that happening, George had a flank that on both sides of where the Indians were located. And so that led to their defeat. And what's fascinating too, like in terms of historical importance, this was one of the last revolutionary battles that took place west of the Allegheny Mountains. Because a lot of the revolutionary battles were towards the east coast. They usually weren't this far inland. But essentially, with Mr. Clark winning this battle, it actually allowed the Northwest Territories to be possible. And so then, 15 years later, the famed Treaty of Greenville, my hometown, as a matter of fact, that's what really established the settlement during the time. So I mean, the historical importance essentially is this battle that took place at this site where I am standing allowed expansion to be possible. Yeah. Very important battle site. It's just wild, you know. It would be so neat, like, to just have some kind of a time machine or something, kind of like in the Avengers Endgame. You could just actually see it happen. But yeah, George Rogers Clark was a very close accomplice of George Washington. So that's something else that we have to remember. Like, wherever it is that we live, you know, the area may seem boring, But you know what, though? You still have to remember the history that took place in an area. I mean, you know, like, what if George lost, you know? What if he lost this battle? I mean, there possibly would have been further delay of settlement. We don't really know. But yeah, actually, I just want to, I'm actually going to share an article on that. It'll tell you a bit more of like the details of what really took place. And I also took a picture of an interpretive sign so you guys can see that. So then up here, this building, this is the Davidson Interpretive Center. This is kind of where the Clark County Park District is based. I actually have been here a couple of times. And unfortunately, they really don't have too much going on right now, you know, in terms of volunteering or anything. Just because of the COVID, of course. But sometimes you just got to make do with what you have. So that's one of the reasons I've been running this page, is to just try to get some form of experience. And as I said, you know, in a post the other day, if any of you really want to suggest or recommend me to check out a place and do like an interpretation there, you guys are more than welcome. That's what the page is for, and Messenger. Or if you guys want to plan something with me, you don't have to be shy, you know, just let me know. As long as we can plan ahead, I can try my best to make it happen. So, all right, hope all of you learned something in the video. And once again, Journey on a Journey is out. Take care, folks.